Are you not appeased at all by the fact that the President has come out and given an indication of when he will be coming to Parliament to answer oral questions? And also the fact that after the State of the Nation address, there will be plenty of opportunity for you to engage the President.
I mean, we cannot rely on what that crook says. It's unreliable. It's one individual who you can't take his word. The man has been campaigning on anti-corruption, yet practicing corruption. So he can't say he's coming and you take it that he will come. We need more than that. And that should be a commitment from the ANC that the man will come before the State of the Nation and even after. Look here. Here you've got a potential of experiencing unprecedented event happening during the State of the Nation. And you've got all the opportunities to prevent that, and you don't use those opportunities. The EFF, in a civilized manner, says, in avoiding these unprecedented circumstances which could occur on the 12th of February, let us meet before, so that by the time we arrive on the 12th of February, we're at peace, we've resolved our problems. They say to us, we don't care, we've got the numbers, we're not scared of the EFF, to an extent that the Deputy Minister of Higher Education says he's going to put aside his designer suits because he will be preparing to engage the EFF and then even swear, insults at the leadership of the EFF. That is the caliber of leadership you have both in the executive and in Parliament. We're ready for that. The ANC is not ready to respect the Constitution. We have to teach them a lesson which they will never forget for the rest of their life and which will make them to respect the Constitution. Baleka disrupted Zuma's session. When Zuma came to answer questions, Baleka, out of a hangover which led to intolerance of dissent from the opposition, adjourned the sitting of Parliament and said the President will come after whatever interactions they will have between themselves as Parliament and the Presidency. She has never implemented any of those commitments. Actually, even the date is not a date that comes out of the programming committee. The Presidency announced the date without the programming committee having to sit and deciding on the date. Now the President tells Parliament how to run and when will the President be available. But ordinarily, there should have been exchange between Parliament and Presidency and agreed upon date between Parliament and the President. No, that's not the case. We had, again, for the first time, that's what I'm saying to you, things are not normal. For the first time, we had a date of answering of questions by the President in the media. Normally, we are given a program as members of Parliament who decide how our Parliament is going to be ran. This year, we are not given that opportunity. We just get told by the Presidency, this is what you are going to do, members of Parliament, on the 11th of March.
So the intention on your side, just to capture it clearly, is to stand up within the rules and ask him questions?
Absolutely. The rules allow that. There's nothing that prevents that. That's why these hooligans of the ANC were trying to maneuver some new rule to prevent asking of the questions. What are the implications of that? It's an admission that there is nothing that stops a member of Parliament to stand up and ask the President the question during the State of the Nation. That's an admission. That's an admission of a fact. They can't come out and say openly, yes, there's no rule that prevents people from doing that. They want to pass it now to deal with a problem which can be resolved politically without a rule. It doesn't need a rule. It needs political cooperation. It needs political maturity. It needs the respect of Parliament and the Constitution.
In your view, is the State of the Nation even important at all?
It's not important. That thing is a fashion parade. Zuma must come on an ordinary day and tell us what is the priorities. What are the priorities, rather, of the state for 2015, without having to spend too much money to come and listen to a man who's going to be stammering, not pronouncing words properly, mixing up things and calling numbers wrongly. After we had spent millions and millions of rands for such a one-man show, it doesn't, especially under Zuma, that thing has lost its meaning and its significance. The best thing, let Zuma come on an ordinary day. I mean, blocking the roads, disturbing the economic activities of that city, creating red carpets for people who don't deserve red carpets. I mean, red carpets for mediocrity. It can't be. Red carpets should be for special people, people who are adding value, not corrupt criminals who are going to be parading stolen clothes in front of the nation. We don't need that. So we need a red carpet for the best of the best and not for mediocrity. And those things of 21 gun salute, and it's a waste of bullets and money. You can't salute those things in a form of President Zuma. He doesn't deserve any salutation. So this is just a useless day where the money that can be given to the people of Deep Sloot, the people of Alexander, and all rural women to empower them so that they can generate some income or empower them economically so that they can provide for their loved ones. We take that money on that day and give it to corrupt entrepreneurs who are related to the ANC.
So once we've asked your questions within the rules, assuming that it progresses to the point where you ask the questions and then afterwards there is a State of the Nation address to be delivered, what should the President focus on? What should he address in there?
I will never tell Zuma what to focus on. I mean, he's going to be repeating himself and even lying in the process. We're going to be hearing to the old CD with a scratch. That's what we've been subjected to. That thing is a torture. We get extremely tortured by listening to such things. There is really nothing to advise him on because even if you advise him, it's a waste of time. It doesn't mean any of the things that he says. I mean, they in their January 8, they spoke about the Freedom Charter, they spoke about the land question and all those things, and then they come to Parliament and speak about the NDP, which contradicts what the Freedom Charter represents. So really, I've got no advice for such people.